Okay, there you go. All right. So here we are with the speaker of the day, Sonia Rinaldi, for a Q&A session. But as an introduction to Sonia's session, I did select this note from Chico Xavier. It's a very nice one. And he said, pessimists and negativists, materialists claim that our world is heading towards destruction and darkness. Emmanuel, in the book A Caminho da Luz, in English, On the Way to the Light, which was written in 1938, shows us the opposite, that by divine determinism, we are all inexorably on the way to the light. So that's what I would like to bring us today, the power of determinism and resilience. This also reminds me a lot about what Sonia has done in her 30 plus years. She is very strong-minded woman, and I really admire her for that. And because of her dedication, then we have so many results, and she has helped so many people. So thank you, Sonia, for that. So with that introduction with Sonia, I guess everybody knows her very much, and Sonia she has a lot of titles, master degree, PhD, etc. But anyway, she's a speaker for many years now, researcher, and she has done so many, she has participated in so many events, speaking in US, Europe, Australia, you name it. Recently, more online than anything else, but yeah, she is very known global wise, author of 17 books, and she's also the responsible for the best images and voices files that we have the privilege to see and to witness. So she's a pioneer in using computer to record transcontacts and introduce new devices and tools to the experiences with transcommunication, such as telephone, cell phones, Skype, and so many other materials, including bubble plastic. She's very creative. Anyway, with you guys, I'm very proud to introduce Sonia. Sonia is here today for a Q&A session. So feel free to type your questions on the chat box. I do have some questions over here that I got from folks that sent to me in advance. But if you have any, just go ahead and do. I will go ahead and start just to warm up everybody. But Sonia, would you like to say something at the beginning?
Just hello to everybody, and to thank you for being here with us today. So yeah, let's start.
Yeah, I do have a very, I like to know how things start. So I'm very curious about to know how everything, kicked off for you. And my question is, how exactly you end up doing this? As far as I know, you were not in college like technology or type of thing. So you have other type of graduation, a different type of graduation. But how did everything start for you, and why?
Well, it depends on from where you look to this question. If I look from the time at the beginning, I had one view of about transcommunication, about the communication with the other side and everything. or more precisely, I didn't know anything when I started. And today, I would say that my objective is completely different than those from when I started. When I started, it was for a simple reason, in truth. I was raised in a Catholic school, and those things of mass and Jesus and etc. And I wasn't very satisfied with that. So I was thinking that it is something so important for you to decide when you make an option for one line of philosophy or a religious line, anything. So it defines your life, because your life will be conducted inside those parameters, right? So I was thinking that it was important for me to choose something that could make sense, that I could be sure that that was not something invented by men. And I wasn't satisfied with I knew by that time. And then I started attending a spiritist center. And then in the first day that I arrived there, the manager, the president or whatever, he just looked at me and he said, go, I was using a skirt that day. And then he said, go to your house, put a trouser and come back. And I couldn't understand why. And then later I discovered that he immediately knew that I was medium, and it was something could happen and it could fall down, and then I was in skirts. So I did. I went home, changed it, and then I started working in that spiritist center as a medium, and I did this for some years. And I was very, very dedicated. I went to there 3 times a week, and I remember that I arrived at home nearly after midnight. I was, all wet, so tired, exhausted. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I was there. And then finally, I heard that people in Europe was recording voices. And then I said, oh, now things are better. Now I can have something solid. And then I started researching this way, started recording. It took me 3 years to receive something, and here I am today.
That's awesome. So and this flanges up very well with a question that I got, and somebody asked, is your family supportive of your work? Have they been there for you?
In truth, I think I am very an independent type. My parents were very Catholic. My mother loved to go to the mass on Sundays, and she was old, and she wasn't interested in knowing if afterlife was real or any of these. But it didn't matter to me, because it was my focus, and it was my whole life. So they were supportive, I would say, in the meaning of not interrupting, not bothering me. So I could go and attend the seances, could read all the books I wanted. So, but they were not spiritist as I was. They were very Catholic.
All right. So does anybody want to ask any question? I have other questions over here, so just let me know. I have a question. Margaret, go ahead. Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, Sonia. This is Maggie. I have a question for you. I do some of my own EVP recording at home using Sherry Pearl's recordings with my son, Evan. and he gives me a lot of information that validates who he is and that he sees us and that he's with us and his emotional take on things. But he never answers the question, what is it like where you are? And I wonder if you have ever received answers to that question from children.
Hi, Maggie. Well, let me first make a gossip. I'll tell who Maggie is.
Oh,
Maggie is another crazy like me, and she is working with me with a very curious project, very, very crazy. And she is musicist. And so it was such it is a, let's say, it's a crazy idea, but I still bet in this idea and I have to return it to it. So when I heard that Maggie was musicist, the first thing that I asked was if she could study some paranormal voices. And then I sent, I don't remember, maybe some 300 samples of audios for her to study and see if she could perceive something special in those paranormal voices. Oh my God, she did. She discovered incredible things that will be publishing still. And she made a, you cannot believe until you see the work she made. So she made such a detailed study on the paranormal voices. And she came to a specific how do you say, patterns. She discovered specific numbers that was frequent in all samples from different deceased ones. So she made an incredible discovery that nobody knows yet, because we still will publish. It will be a whole magazine just about her work. And this was a part of what she did. And the other crazy idea that she helped me to test was the following. I was thinking that somehow the sound, any sound, a sound can make a hole in the space-time, like a tunnel, like something like a channel to the other side. And then I was thinking that some heat, deep heat, something like boom, 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 something like a drum, but powerful. These would make a big hole in the space-time. And later, only last week, I just sent it to her a video of a very, very good group called The Last Mohicans, and of beatings. My God, I said, that is why all Indians in the past, and even African religions, they have those drums, I don't know how to say, in the sessions they make. I think it is because the sound make the holes and they can talk to the gods. So that was my idea. And then she was crazy enough to go to her school, and then she recorded the beats inside a specific parameter and sent me back for me to test. I think that I just tested it once. I have still to repeat, but I think that we are failing in the amount of the volume of the sound. You know, those young people that put in the car a huge sound. I don't know if in your country you have that, but here in Brazil we have. They put a huge sound that the car shakes. I think that something like that goes straight like a bomb in the space-time. And so I'll test again. So that is Maggie, right, Maggie? I told everybody about you. Now, replying your question, if we know how the other side is. Well, I think that here in Brazil, we have lots of books that talks about mainly written by Chico Xavier, the medium. He was extremely good. And also there is a movie based in one of his books called Our Home. There is the English version of
Astro City, actually.
Astro City. I
In
saw
English,
okay, Astro City, and it is a very interesting movie. It was in the cinemas all around, and here I think that abroad too. And it shows the life in the other side, that it is absolutely normal. They work, they dress, they eat for some time. Later, they may not need to eat anymore, but at the beginning, yes, they do. And how they communicate to Earth, they use devices, etc. So I think that these books, Maggie, give you a very, very good view of the other side, how they work and what they do, etc.
Thank you. Do you have any idea why Evan wouldn't answer that question himself?
Well, I would say first, they are not allowed to talk to things just because we want, you know. They are allowed to talk about it is possible to talk, right? And remember that in instrumental transcommunication, we have very short replies. And your question is somewhat philosophical, right? It needs some explanation. And possibly it is very difficult to define how the other side is in 4 or 5 words only. But be patient, because what matters is not what Evan says, but the fact that he says. That is the important, that is the connection that is established. You know, because with time, these will get better and better as the other side will be more and more authorized to come closer to us. And these I see in my work every day. And you are very close to my work, so you know. In truth, it is something amazing how it is developing fast. But it is not because of a magical reason. No, it is because the other side is now authorized to come closer. This started since last year when we started this transition time. And then one of the things that will happen in this transition time is them to get closer. They will be authorized to contact us more clearly. So you will see your contacts to improve a lot. I see these also in my experiments.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes, Sonia, awesome. So does anybody else would like to ask a question? Luis, go ahead.
Okay, thank you again, Sonia. Your answers were very good, very well made. And I'd like to ask you a technical thing. For example, today you sometimes use like the humidifier device to, you know, kind of a fog, to make a fog and extract some effects from that fog. I'd like to know if you can, for example, use a video of, you know, lots of smoke or blurred thing, and on this video, a fixed video, to start doing something with that video. If you don't have, for example, the humidifier or something that can produce smoke, or have you ever tried something like that?
Yeah, I did already. I think that maybe there is nothing that I haven't tried yet. I think that everything I tried. Yes, I used it at the internet. There is, because I looked, so I can tell you, it is to make your way shorter. There is something that is called a bomb of smoke. It is similar to what is used in army. So it makes a huge smoke. And
Like a cloud.
Oi?
Like a cloud.
Yeah, big cloud of smoke, and there is in colors. So I bought some of these, and also I used the film, as just you said, uh, just to avoid to have, because I was afraid to make this in my house, and then my neighbors would come and say, "Oh,
Fire,
it's burning,
fire.
the house is burning." Now, so I bought, but I didn't use that one. But the results that I'm getting in with the humidifier, it is it is something simple and not expensive. But I think it is worthy. If you like these, you should try. And otherwise, you can use. I projected the video of these guys using making propaganda of these bombs of smoke and in different colors. So I used sometimes 3 micro projectors, so that I used the one smoke in red, the other in yellow, and the other in blue, and project
You
all
mixed
together,
them.
and it worked. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, you are thinking in the
Okay.
right,
So you
correct line.
project to some, for instance, you project on a screen and you recorded the projection, was it? What you?
For instance, I record in a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I try black, something black, like a cloth hang in the wall, or sometimes I use white just for seeing what is better. And in truth, everything works. I think that's why I said it to Maggie some minutes ago. The important is to establish the communication. Once it is established, you may nearly use anything and everything will work. You know, these days I was watching some videos that I recorded when the guy that is making a documentary about me, he came to Brazil, and we made some live experiments so that he could film for the documentary. And I was watching the videos that we recorded together. So he was just beside me. And oh my God, I was so surprised. This was yesterday. I too can show you, if Anna allow me, I can show you some files. It is something that you think, oh my God, what is that? How the guys are doing this? They are using, in those videos, they could put colors like lipstick, like dark hair in the smoke picture. So it is a new advancement. It is something amazing. I don't know, Anna, can I show?
You are the host now.
Can I, let me see.
Yeah, you can share.
Oh,
Course
so
you
I'll
can.
show to Luis. Let me see if you can see. Look at this. This laid with the glass is a photo, okay?
Right.
And then at the side was the smoke. Look the beauty of the picture.
Wow.
So you say, oh my God, how can they do that?
This
Look.
was at the right time the guy was with you, the documentary guy was with you, is
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
Wow.
So that he has this here a sequence of images. Also, extraterrestrials also appeared. And look at this. This lady, totally at left, is Jen. She was one of the 2 ladies that Robert, this guy that came from US to record, she was one of the 2 ladies that Robert chose for me to make the experiments while he was here. Okay, so I asked Jen to hold the photo of her mother that passed, so we would see what happened, right? One of the photos was, she presented 2 photos, her mother more young, like this one that she's holding, as you see her hands. And now observe that the photo was transfigured, and you see now her mother looking to front, not to the side, and observe that the hair is changed in the transimage. So all this was done in real time while Robert was here. Here you have some other of the same moment. And here too. Look, this is vapor. I was impressed myself. I was thinking, for God's sake, how they can do this with so many details. This is, at left is the photo that, the other photo of Jen's mother that she was holding. And it was curious because the spiritists went working on the vapor, simply ignored sometimes the photo, other times they worked over the photo, and they were looking at this. These have colors, and you see it is just behind the photo. Something that I was thinking these days while I was looking, and I was preparing a new magazine. I was thinking, observe something curious for the technical aspect. Imagine that first, we don't know where the station is or where those guys are. We don't know, right? They are somewhere, we don't know. But they have such control that they put all the transimages, just stick it to the face of the photo. So they have a control of the space. They can send something perfectly placed. You see, and so it is just in parallel, and all the images are like this. Oh, look at this, the huge size. Look at the teeth, it shines. So that is why I said that they are moving fast now. These
Sonia.
others, look, all them doesn't interfere in the photo that Jen was holding. Oh, this I think was one of the most beautiful image I ever saw.
Oh, wow.
The owl is a symbol of the group. So I usually see all types of owls, but never like this. And this was vapor.
Beautiful.
So,
Sonia,
wait.
just one more technical detail. When these pictures are frames from a movie, from a clip.
Yes.
How long does it usually take you to? How long are the strips of movie that are 1 minute, 30 seconds?
And usually, for instance, these recent ones I know because I sent it to Robert because he will need some raw material. So I sent to him, so I know. Usually, while he was here, I was recording 3 minutes, and then I interrupt, and then start again. Some 2 minutes, 3 minutes, stop. And so short videos.
And when you go over them, analyzing frame by frame, do you do this very fast, or do you have to do it very slowly, frame by frame, for example?
The risk of going frame by frame is that you go crazy with the amount of results.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it is something amazing. In this recording that I'm showing you today, and I was working yesterday, this I selected initially from the 3 minutes video that I sent it to Robert. I selected it, 200 and something frames. And then you have to go through, but I didn't get everything because I go a little bit fast. Otherwise, I would get some 500. So I would go crazy. So I go, a bit quick. And then when something is very good, I pick. But so also in the transimage, I couldn't put too many things. These I was working just today. Yesterday, I just had seen the white face. And then I said, oh, wait, there is another face here. And maybe this is something like a message. Clearly, I think the one that left is an extraterrestrial or ultra-terrestrial. And the other one, maybe it is a terrestrial like us and black people. So I don't know why they sent that, just stick it. You see, all these in the vapor. The photo was possibly here and it nearly disappeared. So look at this dog, look at the eye, the right eye. So I think that I think there is just some one or more too. Oh, these will be in our magazine. Look, these sounds in the smoke at the end of the recording, they go better and better. So this was at the end, and I noticed that they disappeared with the just left the what matters, and it sounds a bit like a 3D. So I think that look at this. This was Jen's father. She was holding. This is our boss. Aside the photo.
Narisha.
Yeah, yes, Narisha. Look, so I don't want to we are here for the questions, but I thought that these could show what is happening. So one thing is for you, Luis, is the following. For instance, if you record, let's say, 10 minutes in the total, let's say you say 2 minutes and then stop and then go. So when you are working in the last ones, you see, oh my God, it is something like they go on tightening the synchrony, so that at the end they are perfect. And at the beginning, they are trying, the images are not as good as the last ones. This video, that one that I was showing, was nearly the last one. So it's something that we learn, and that the more you record, the better it will be.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Sonia, regarding to what you just said, it seems like there is another technical question here that I think is very good, because it does continue what you just mentioned. So the question is, Marcelo Bacci was using his radio when amazing physical phenomena happened. What is the difference between his work and what you do in your lab?
Yeah, it is very different. I had been with Marcello in Grosseto, and also I had the opportunity to witness something very, very interesting, some apports. And so I would say that Marcello, he belongs to a previous generation before mine. And by that time, the spirits still needed the support of mediumship of some type to produce even the technical results. This case that you're mentioning about the radio, if somebody doesn't know, it was said that one day they were gathered in Grosseto, and he worked with an old radio, and then there were some engineers, and one engineer, which is my friend, Paulo Prezi, started taking out the valves one by one of the radio until there was no valve at all, and it went on speaking. So this was a very curious phenomenon. And
when you talk about the valves, you're talking about the components inside, all the electronics inside of the radio.
Yeah, but an old radio, it's so a valve.
Right.
So, but that is the case. Marcello was a medium, and when I was there, I saw how he worked, and it was very clear that his energy somehow was used. Now, in the next generation, which is mine, the other side is very clear. They don't want to have mediums evolved. They wanted to go by themselves. They want freedom so that they can do technically everything and not depending, so that they can communicate to anyone and not to specific persons. So, so I would say that is basically the difference between Marcello's work and mine. He also helped lots of mothers. I was there when he was, my husband that was had passed some months before I went to Italy, and Fernando, my husband, communicated there. So it was very, very incredible. And but clearly, Marcello was a medium, and the recipe is that they don't want mediums involved. They want to go and do everything technically.
Mhm.
So we are in this process. But think, for instance, how could anyone help with these creations over the vapor? It is some technology that we don't understand, that we don't know how to do, and where to insert the file in a computer. It is absolutely out of our capacity. So I think that that is what they say that they want. They don't want to depend on persons on our side. They wanted to speak and send whatever they want technically, and that's it.
All right, thank you. So there is a question over here. Are you aware from team? Are you aware of the images while the recording is going on, or are the images found afterwards when reviewing the individual frames of the video?
Oh my God, this reply would be somewhat long to be clear, but let me try. Until some 5 years maybe behind, yes, I could see on real time, because I used it to watch in the video in the computer what I was recording, and simultaneously I could see, obviously not with the details, but it was being recorded, but I could see lots of things. I could see, for instance, there is a big head there. You know, but it was fast and so. But yes, in the past, yes, I could see. In the late years, after they changed the technology, because they don't do that anymore, simply I don't see a thing. So sometimes it lets me a bit worried. Talking about this recent case, when Robert was here and I made the recording for Jen, I didn't see a thing. And I said, oh my God. And if it didn't help, didn't happen anything. So I asked Robert, let's make a second time. And so we make twice for Jen. When I got the recordings, I said, oh my God, why did I open my mouth? Because it was so much things. I made it 2 e-magazines just on the results for Jen. So you see, it is because we don't see anymore. So, and why it is like it is? Because presently they don't send anything anymore, as in the past. They used it to send like something like conducted by a I don't know how to say, and let's say that they could use more closely the devices on Earth. But as Dr. Howdy said in a communication that is a dialogue that he talked to me, Dr. Howdy and Anna was present, I think. We were in
the sense with,
yeah. And Dr. Howdy materialized it there, and Anna was present. And then he said that due to the fabric of the world, that was all the energy of these interference, terrestrial interferences such as GPS, Bluetooth, internet, these made a shield around Earth, and they couldn't send things anymore. So they decided to change the technology. And then they started doing these other type of technology, which is something like virtual reality, so that they don't cross anything, they don't cross the fabric of the world anymore, as they used to do. Now they work outside, maybe in another planet, in another dimension, anywhere, and they will have the full control because they work with virtual reality. So they don't have to send anything. They interfere in what we offer. So it is another technology. And in this technology, we don't see live anymore.
So in other words, they manipulate and maneuver whatever material we have over here.
In the copy, right?
Yeah.
Note that is the secret, let's say, of the virtual reality. For instance, let's say at this precise moment, let's say that this meeting can be being followed by the other side, but they are not here, they are not connected directly, but they transport a copy of us to their space, and so they can act over in the copy, and it will be responded here. It is some technology that mankind doesn't have yet, but obviously we will discover it in future, but it is how they work now. So that is how they create over the vapor.
There is a question here from Maggie again. What is the room lighting like when you record? Full light, little light, dark? So how about the intensity? How intense the light needs to be in the room when you're doing recording?
Well, depends on what type of light, right? Because I have all types. But I think that's something that is useful is, for instance, a flashlight that you can cover with a cellophane, some transparency with color, so that you can put in the flashlight, you can put some like a filter, a red one, a yellow one, and you can use the flashlight and point it to a wall, a black wall, or use behind it the bubble plastic. So all these tests can work. What is, I think, more important is not the specific type of what you are using, but maybe your dedication, your the frequency that you do that. For instance, if you say, oh, I have an idea, I'll do this, and then you just try once and forget. They need persons very dedicated, and then they start giving intuition and ideas, and then you go. So it doesn't matter too much what you use, but that you use. You'll be getting closer to them.
Thank you. There is another question from Luis. What make or kind of camera do you use for the recordings?
So Luis, I use something very, very simple, cell phones. I have 3 cell phones, and this is the worst one that I don't use to record. But I bought one 4K, and it is horrible. Why? Because it is too clear, or I don't know, it didn't work. So I use an ordinary one, and it is wonderful because it is portable, it's cheap. It is something that you don't need to have an incredible, professional camera. A cell phone will do. And then it is very easy to put in the computer, to watch in the software. So a cell phone is a good solution.
Sonia, do you know how to make my, to give me the privilege to share again, to make me host?
I don't know. How do I do that?
Okay, never mind. I was about to share something, but that's okay.
Share.
That's fine.
I think I clicked to share screen. See if you can.
If you click on my picture, and then there's 3 dots, there are 3 dots.
Look, I here have a window saying allow participants to share screen. I clicked in that. So
okay, so let me see if I can share what I have in here. Just so you know, I do not know. This is my attempt to do what Sonia does. And it's so funny because basically I did what she told me. Open your computer, start recording. And then what I had that time was a bubble plastic. And then it was less than 3 minutes video and boom, it was there. So can you see the image?
Mm-hmm. But you are
And
doing something wrong, my dear. You
but
are. You have
I
too
was
much
just
light.
playing.
No, it is the here. It was. You see, it is something like day or
Mhm.
to use what we are using there. The best would be to be in a darker room and use a flashlight so that you had, but weak. You cannot make a something strong, but
Yeah.
give some light to them to manipulate and also allow something like around in dark so that they can move, because one thing that they will do in their space will be to drag the photons. So they have to join all the photons, the white photons for one side to make the picture. So and then you give two, let's say two gray. Gray is not good. You have to offer black and white. Okay,
I
so
see.
dark around,
Contrast.
light, yes, some light in the middle, that will do. Mainly,
Yeah.
if you can use some colors, they will love, but also not too much light and also dark.
Yeah, in this case, I was just proving what you said. You know, it is that simple. I mean,
Yeah.
someone with no knowledge and just the intent, you know, just with an idea. And I was surprised by the image. I do not know if everybody can see, you know, the two eyes and I put this this was me, you know. I was just putting a line to so everybody could see the two
Yeah.
eyes and the little nose,
But
the
you will
mouth.
change it also, right? That doesn't look like you.
This is me. Well, yeah, a couple of years ago. Anyway, we do have let me pause sharing here because we do have where is the chat? Okay, right here. We do have a chat, a question on chat, which is from Jesse Keith. How can we as individuals who want to connect with our loved ones do this sort of work on your own? I guess I just
Yeah,
do you have
I would say I would recommend something like that. I think that to start with bubble plastic is a good idea, and you can use not too much light, as I said, and maybe some flashlight with some color if you can, and mainly they don't like things stopped still. They it sounds for us more complicated, but for them somehow it is more useful. I think that whenever we shake, for instance, I don't have any piece of bubble plastic here, but whenever you shake slowly, I think that this will give them the darks and the clears for them to compose. That's possibly why the vapor is useful, because it is flowing continuously. So I think that for Jessie, if she wants to start with a bubble plastic, is a good idea. A cell phone. So in this case, obviously, you will hold the cell phone in front of you, sit down in a chair, and then you can also try to, for instance, to use some light to your face. Sometimes you can put the flashlight in your lap so that your face will be more clear. And then you go with the moving with the bubble plastic and going down and up and so moving. And sometimes I shake And it is precisely in these moments that they do something special, and be prepared for seeing lots of big heads. But don't care. Obviously, Jess would like to see a loved one, but to be in contact with the big heads are also very useful for them to start making the connection and establishing the connection with you.
Yeah, there is another question here from Jesse. Do you have any suggestion on where, how to start? Perhaps just with our personal computer, cell phone, and maybe later we'll use additional equipment as we gain experience and such. So do you ever offer a how-to type of session or discussion to help lay people in terms of where to start?
I wrote a book, but long ago, but about recording voices. But I nearly published 2 or 3 e-magazines. I call e-magazines because it has videos and transimages and voices, nearly 2 or 3 per month, sometimes 4. It is a huge work. For instance, this e-magazine that I was working yesterday, related to Jen's experiment, it has 92 pages. So it's a lot of images, it's a lot of, so all these are tips that those that are beginning have to see, because you can learn from there. We have so much material published, and it is free for our patrons, and our patron is $5, so nobody, I think that it is something that helps us, and I help people, because also I make the experiments with the patrons, and they learn, and I contacted the loved ones of those patrons, and you learn how I was using something. I usually describe everything that I'm doing. So I think that it is some good way to learn and to be in contact, because I think that these the persons that are more linked to us are being also followed by the other side, right? They discover that you are interested, so they know who they have to look for, right? To give ideas, and so.
There is some I guess Josie raised her hand. Josie?
Yes, I did. It's a question for Sonia. I believe, for example, in the spiritual world, we're going to see, we can contact good spirits. I'm going to say bad, not bad, but we can meet spirits that maybe are not so good, or don't want to say the truth, or maybe, and when you do it in your house, it's not a danger somehow. Do you make some protection, if you believe what I'm saying? For example, if me and Tim decide to do that, would we make like a prayer, how we can protect our house to be sure that the spirit are going to communicate, it's a good spirit, or it's going to say the truth, or what do you think about that situation?
Josie, I think that there is just one secret for this. You are your own badge. You are the one to protect yourself through your thoughts, through your wishes, to everything that you are. You define your protection. If you are a good person, if your intention is good, obviously you'll be surrounded by good spirits, as you said. But obviously, if you, like young people say, I'll try this just for fun. Oh, that is possibly this person won't receive any reply. That is what will happen. And also, don't forget that for instrumental transcommunication, when you have this connection more established, you are in contact with huge stations where work great scientists, inventors that were inventors here on Earth. So let's say they will not waste time in bothering anyone. They want serious persons and they need those persons. So if you say, for instance, I decided that I will record once a week. Okay, it's combined. Try to follow your promise, and then they will pay attention to you and things will start happening. But never be afraid. I never had any problem. Why? Because all I do is to help, and my intention is to help. So to help the other side and to help the people here. So why? I'm by the opposite. I would say that my house today is completely protected because they cannot let anyone to interfere in their work, right? So I'm not working alone. And this is important. So I would say this, the protection is you who makes. Don't be afraid, go ahead and just, open your heart, and that is it. There is no problem at all. And let's say, a bad person in his spirit would bother you. If you are a good person, they will be occupied with someone like him and not like you,
Thank you so much, Sonia. Appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
Thank you, Sonia. There is another one over here, another question from Vladimir. Is it always necessary to have a photo from the deceased person?
And no, Vladimir, in truth, I use so many things already, cloths of all types with shine, because after a certain time, I discovered that what the other side do is to drag the photons, so they need light. That's why I said it was convenient to use a flashlight or lamps. I have in those Chinese websites, there are lots of things, very, very curious. I buy lots of things with lights for gardening, everything. So whenever you have something that shines, it is good for them. It can be a cloth, it can be paper, it can be the bubble plastic, it can be the photo. The photo I have been using more to expect the transfigurations, which is the apparition of the loved one when they have the photo. The photo, it is something like a guide for the passage, the one who passed to appear. But it is not necessary. Obviously, you can use many other things, like vapor, for instance. Vapor is great. It is just a humidifier, those that you buy at any Walmart. So it is very, very simple. As I said, it doesn't matter much what you use. You can use vapor, you can use voice, you can use infrared camera, you can try anything, but just try. That's what is necessary, you to try, because these will establish the communication. That is what will solve. After this is established, I would say they make a miracle, because like those images that I was showing some minutes ago, you see, it was just vapor, and still they could do that. But this is 30 years working, right? So they know that I will not give up tomorrow, right? So I think that what matters is to establish the communication, and then everything comes.
And Sonia, I think it's good to mention as well that to Vladimir, in your website, there is a session for photos of people or images of people that you captured, but you do not know who they are, meaning you had no picture.
Yes.
From
yeah.
right.
Yeah, lots of, we have lots. We made one specifically magazine just with, it is a catalog of unknowns. That is why what Anna is mentioning, because in the recordings, there appear lots of people and there is no connection with the family that we are working. So we published them usually in each e-magazine. They are at the end, the unknowns, and many times mothers see and then send a photo and say, oh, that is on page such is my daughter, and send the picture. So yes, so they appear also without photos.
Yeah, I happened to witness that when we were in Arizona a few years ago, and you had this photo from a young man, and then at the end of your presentation, you just showed up that picture and said, does anybody know who this person is? Because just showed up when I was putting together the presentation for this seminar, and then at the end, this lady came up with the picture in her phone of the guy. It was very similar, right? Remember
Yeah,
that?
it is. Yeah, and this case specifically was absolutely amazing because I was I was filming the wall white, and then simply when I looked at the wall, there was this boy, and he was smiling. And then I started looking to know where it was coming from, because I didn't know how the guy was there in the wall. But I saw that it was recording. The camera was just in front. So I let it go. And then I just kept waiting. And then he disappeared. And then I ran to see if it was really recorded, and it was a beautiful guy. And then I think 1 week later, I was in Phoenix, and then this lady recognized her fiance. It was in her cell phone.
Yeah. I would like you to talk about the forensic analysis that you do sometimes. I think is a good topic for folks to know that anything you never published anything before you do those analyses, right? So do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, the point is that I'm waiting for working together with an investigation for 35 years. It didn't happen up to now. Maybe I usually say that Anna will be the responsible for this area of investigation, as she has nothing to do, right? But she'll retire, and then she'll have lots of time to work in the investigation. Yeah, I think that what I do is half of the what I have to do. The other half is to prove that this is real, because sometimes it is so amazing that I myself I cannot understand how it can happen. So I imagine it, someone from outside will think what? Thank God that, for instance, in one recording, there is so much thing that you cannot imagine that anyone would fake, because you would spend years to do what they do in 1 minute. So, okay, people will not think that that can be fake, but how those things happen? So yes, we need an investigation. We need analysis of voices. As that work that Maggie made, she did it by herself. I suggested one way for her to start, and so she did, and then she discovered by herself lots of things, because she was listening, and she's a musician, so she could do that perfectly, and she deals with the computer for music, so she was great in that. So she was investigating, and perceived that there were patterns in the paranormal voice. So this is something that we have to discover, to publish, to give strength to what I do, because what I do, it is not endorsed by science. And to deal with engineers, physicists, this is very difficult, because those guys always think that they know everything, but they don't. And what happens is that they wanted to see the phenomenon per the focus of what they learned in university, and this will not work, right? So the magic person didn't appear, but I'm sure that Anna will be in the command of the investigation. Right, Anna?
One day I will retire.
Okay, go do that soon.
All right. So does anybody have any question for Sonia?
I have. Sonia, I remember back, way back in the while back in the past, you used to record voices in 2 cassette tapes simultaneously. You put some gibberish, people speaking voices in both cassettes, and in one there was a message. When you reversed the recording, remember that? When you reversed the recording, in one there was a voice and a message, and in the other there wasn't. I think this was very evidential, don't you think? So that didn't scientists take it seriously? Because I made that experience once in the Spiritist centers, and it went right. It was very interesting because we recorded many people in the auditorium speaking, and then we recorded 2 tapes. In one tape, when we reversed, we asked the guy to say a sentence, the guy, and he told a joke. And when we reversed his voice inside the gibberish thing, there was a big message saying, "I speak things like that because of the spirits that surround me." That was the sentence. Everybody, wow! This is amazing, yeah. But there wasn't this recording on the other tape. So don't you think? Didn't they take this kind of thing as some kind of evidence in the past? The scientists.
Luis, the problem is that this happened to you, happened to me, happened to some people, but the scientist was not here. So he will not say that you were saying the truth. You know how they are.
Yeah, that's
so unhappily, we have to have laboratory conditions, you know, and follow protocols, all those silly things. But it is important because, let's say, that the signature of the scientist is a yes for our work, you know. So unhappily, it's a question of a title of, for instance, I was looking for forensics, forensic experts who has offices of these, so they are professionals, but they are very expensive, and mainly they don't want to work with nothing related to paranormal. I heard that. One lady that was a professional in this area, she said, this is a suicide for my career.
Okay.
But
there are some guys, you know, 2 days ago, I was interviewing Dr. Dean Rading from the Noetics Institute, right? And he was saying that this, look, Luis Sergio, enough. Of course, he was saying, things happen to me a lot, right? Things happen to him, right? But he said, but we need people that are willing to come into the lab. I have a Faraday cage, right, at the Noetic Scientists. It's available there, but we also need people brave enough to come down here and you know, and we can analyze things.
Let's do that connection.
Well, let's make yes. What do you think about that, right? Because since I've just you know, connected with him, I interviewed him. I'm going to post this interview on my channel. I think it's something that we can, you know, arrange in the future. Why don't you think so?
Well, Luis, see one thing. You mentioned the Faraday cage, right? By the way, Faraday is working in the station.
Wow.
In person. So what happens is that you see, I love doing reading. I respect him a lot, but you see, it is something that he brought from his university. The person that will work with us has to be, you know, empty of any knowledge, just know maths and physics, etc., but has to be open to say, for instance, how can this be happening? But for instance, if you use the Faraday cage, presently, I don't know if they could use it as in virtual reality.
Okay,
You
but
see?
look, I think, and this is my opinion because I've been talking to him for some time, right? I think he's very open-minded in the situation because look at what he says. He said, look, I'm studying consciousness. To study consciousness, you need to know everything. As I don't know everything, I work with all kind of people, from shamanists to quantum physicists to mediums, and one of the chief leaders of noetic scientists is a psychographer, right? It's a medium, and she is her boss, his boss, right? Understand? So I think these guys, I think we can try, and they're doing very interesting research about all all kind of things like that, right? Let's see. I think we can give it a
Yeah,
try. Don't you think
well,
so?
we can try, obviously. I think that would be wonderful. For instance, there are so simple things that can be done, and it would already be a start. For instance, if you, for instance, let's think of this recent recording with Robert here. He's a professional, right? He's a video producer, and he's a professional. So he was recording at my side. I don't know yet. I asked him to send me some of his recording for me to compare if it appeared in his camera the same that appeared in my cell phone. But anyway, we have some witness. And for instance, something that is useful and easy. For instance, if you have that 3 minutes video, okay? If someone investigated this video and simply state, this video is raw, there is no interference, nobody cut and put something, nothing was changed in the middle of the way, it is integral, it is real. Well, it is good enough for me because there are lots of things there. How can be there? Who put it? Right?
Without
So
manipulation,
something very
right?
simple, just to say it is just a simple analysis and these wouldn't cost so much, but nobody wants to risk.
Doing this, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's important to mention that you had this kind of analysis done before, right, Sonia? But the person or the people, they didn't want to sign. And for you, this, I mean,
yeah. There was
there were some guys in Germany, another one in US saying, or in Brazil saying, yeah, this is, I testified, there is no manipulation on this video or this recording.
Yeah,
but there was the person would not sign, at the bottom
that
of the
happened,
letter.
yes.
In my interview with him, we were talking exactly about the fear everybody has from the phenomena. Even spiritualists and spiritists fear the phenomena because phenomena brings truth, right? And it's better you go into just philosophy than truth.
Yes, I have no doubt. The only thing, Luis, is that I see things like this. What I may do, I have been doing. Maybe it is just that. Maybe I'm not the person that will find someone and will scientifically prove this. You know, maybe it is not me. So it doesn't matter.
You're doing your job.
I think that, but obviously I try everything. Obviously I will not be waiting. But I'm not worried in, let's say, I think that I have the evidences. Possibly what I do today will be seen and discussed by people within 10 years, maybe 20 years, not now. Now people, you know, is flying. They don't know about me. They don't know about these incredible results that the other side does. So I think that if this investigation, as I say, has to be done, it will be done. So obviously we cannot.
You do your job, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
you do your job the way you've been doing it.
Yeah.
So 100% okay.
Yeah, and something that each day I'm more sure that this work is so incredible that I'm so insignificant in this all this story that, you know, I don't dare to think that I have to do something. No,
Yeah.
99% it is the other side.
It's a
What
very
do I
important
do?
line
I
of thought.
I turn on the humidifier. Well, important, you know. See,
Very state-of-the-art humidifier. Right?
yes, I'm a specialist.
Very nice.
Folks,
Thank you.
Sonia and everybody, I would love to continue. We could stay for hours here, but it's 4:27 my time over here, so we passed the time that we proposed to do this. So I really appreciate your willingness to be here with us, Sonia. I'm pretty sure this is not the final. There will be other sessions as well. I have some ideas over here. So
Yeah, but you know that you owe me lots of chocolates.
yes, I do.
You
Yeah,
promised.
yeah, it will be there.
In public.
And Giles, he would like to say something.
I have a parting remark, which I would like feedback on next week, which is that I think the real reason that we humans fear death is because we fear the life review that comes afterwards. Just as what reminded me of that was you saying the spiritualists actually, no, Luis Marotta said that the spiritualists fear what they find and see because it's the truth. Well, our afterlife review is very much the truth. And I think that one way or another, we know this is coming. And this is the real reason that we actually don't want to go.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, anyway, thank you very much. That was very
My
nice. I was
pleasure.
most impressed. This was not reading tea leaves in the bottom of a teacup. Sonia,
Thank you,
your work
Giles.
has paid off. This is the real McCoy, and I am delighted to see it. I've got plenty of images snatched off the screen to look at later, and I thank you very, very much, both of you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Giles.
Thank you all, and hopefully we'll see each other next week, next Saturday. Thank you.
Okay.
Don't forget
see you
my
then.
chocolates.
Yes.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you,
Bye-bye, people.
everybody.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for
The
being
real
with us.
McCoy indeed. Bye.
Bye-bye.